Hello, fellow investors. Um, I want to talk to you about a Bible story, and it's okay if you don't have to believe the same as me. This is just my thought process. And there's a story in the Bible, Matthew 25:14 through 30, and everybody interprets things differently, and I'm sure if you ask 10 preachers, you'll get 10 different answers. And maybe my answer is not the correct one, but I also want to couple this story with the rule of 72, um, which is how long for your money to double, basically. And so if you have $1 today and you get 10% return on your money, in basically 7.5 years, you will double your money. Now, if you look at it without compound interest, if you get 10% a year, you'd think it would take you 10 years. But to get 10% every year, year one you get 10%, year two you get 10%, but because of compound interest, you are using that interest to grow your wealth, and over time it speeds up the process. So, what would have maybe taken 10 years now only takes 7.2 years. But you can read the story yourself and see what you think. But this is my take. Basically, there was 3 servants. One gets 5 talents, and this doesn't have to necessarily mean money, but in my opinion, I take it to mean, let's use an example of money. One servant 1 gets 5 talents, servant 2 gets 2 talents, and servant 3 gets 1 talent. Now, my opinion and my point of view is that all money, every single penny in the world is God's money. So really, you don't really have any of your own money. It's God's money, because God's the one who gives it to you. God's the one who can take it away from you. God's the one who has given you the intelligence, or the brains, or the whatever it is. He's given you the talents to obtain that money, or whatever, or the skills to get a good job and earn that income. But anyway, the first servant, who got 5, he got 5 more. The one who had 2 got 2 more. Now, to put that another way, I would say, and it says he was gone for a long time. So I don't know. Let's use this example. Let's say a long time was 7.2 years he was gone for. Well, when he came back, that $5 turned into $10, and that $2 turned into $4. And it could be, it could be 5,000 turned into 10,000, or 2,000, or 5 million turned into 10 million. And so, but what did this guy do? This guy, he was afraid of, let's use the stock market example, he was afraid of, losing money, so he buried it. He buried it in the ground, and I think the reason why God was so upset at this last guy was he could have. Now I assume they had banks back then. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have banks, but he could have done something with the money to earn some kind of interest, even if it was minuscule. He could have. Maybe he couldn't have doubled his money, but he could have. Maybe turned that dollar into $1.25 or $1.50. So maybe he couldn't have gotten the $2, but he could have got something with the money. And here is the verses I'm talking about. Matthew 25:14 through 30. I'm using the King James version. Gave 5 talents, another 2, another one 1. This guy got 5 more. This guy got 2 more. But the third servant went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. So this tells me that this is not your money. This is God's money. And God is trusting you with making smart financial decisions with His money and to grow that money. So when He returns, He can give you a reward for a job well done. And it says after a long time. So this wasn't like he came back next week or the next day. I don't know how long he was gone for. Maybe he was gone 20 years, 30 years. But he who had 5 got 5 more. Good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. 2 talents got 2 more. Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. And the third servant who buried in the sand, then when she hath received the 1 talent, came and said, Lord, I know thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, thou hast this as thine. Lord, and thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sow not, and gather where I have not strewn. Should have put the money to the exchangers, and then in my coming I should have received mine with usury. I guess that means interest. I don't know. So he takes from the one who has the most, the least, and gives it to the one who has the most. Here's something I just happened to look at, the rule of 72. Here's an example of how long would it take it to double. So let's say you start with $10,000. Your grandma left you $10,000 for college when you were a baby or something, or your parents did, or a family friend put $10,000 in your college fund. Well, by the time you're 18, it would have almost doubled. You'd be 24 for the double, but that's at 3%. Now the same $10,000 at 6%, would have been $20,000. Would have doubled by the time you're 12. doubled again at 24, doubled again at 36, doubled again at 48. So that $10,000 would have doubled 6 times, or one, two, three, 4 times. I'm sorry, but at 12%, so here you get doubling 3 times. This you get doubling 5 times at 6%, and then at 12% it doubles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. So at 12%, if grandma gives you $10,000 when you're a baby, by the time you're 48, you get $2.5 million, and you didn't even have to do anything. So these are different rates. Like say for example a bank stock. Let's say that it doesn't ever go up. Let's just say they pay you 3%. So you get 3%. This might be like an oil stock or something, or tobacco or something like that, and or real estate. But there's some that pay this close to this, but like I said, a lot of those are more risky, and you definitely don't want impossible gains. But yeah, some companies can pay this much, but I'm sure maybe other people think that Bible verse means this guy gave 100% effort, and this guy gave 100% effort, and this guy didn't give any percent effort. But I like to think of it as money, that these talents were money, and he gave one guy 5, came back after 7 years, got 10. Had 10, started with 2 after 7 years, turned into 4. So yeah, here this rule of 72. So you can always figure out, and of course I didn't put the formula up there, but just Google rule of 72 and it'll tell you the formula. But yeah, it's basically how long does it take your money to double, and what interest rate you need, and how long, back to the bird in the hand versus the bush. How many birds, how long, and how sure are you? And that's really all there is to investing. But I like to think of it as God's money, and even though I like to think that I'm smart and I made these decisions and all the credit should go to me, but ultimately it's God's money, and God's the one who gives you the wisdom. God's the one who gives you the knowledge. God's the one who gives you the skills you need. Anyway, thank you for listening.